Thanks, fellas. All right. I am so excited about this. I really am. This is awesome. 12 seasons in the NFL, 4 Pro Bowls, over 8,000 yards rushing, the most ever in Green Bay Packers history. Mr. Ahman Green is going to be joining us, hopefully. There he is. There he is. Ahman Green.
What's up, fellas?
Holy. What a pleasure. I hope you noticed that Mr. Josh McCouga is wearing the Green Bay Packers colors in your honor, his jacket. I have been eating cheese all day long in anticipation.
Why?
Just to honor you. Thank you for being here, man. It's so awesome to talk to you. We're going to get to your NFL career. We're going to get to FCF and all that stuff. But the first thing I want to ask you, because I'm so curious about this, is you are now involved in esports.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Yeah, what are you doing?
Also, I'm the head coach of esports at Lakeland University, which is in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And right now, you caught me at practice. So right now, you can see the TV right behind me. That's my League of Legends team going over film right now. They're breaking it down from the other day. We have Valorant in practice right now. We have my Fortnite players practicing right now. So who else? And we have a few Smite players. So yeah, we're in mid-season. We got playoff push coming up in some of these seasons here in the next couple of weeks. So season's winding down because of COVID cut everything short. But you know, we was able to have a season, and it's the first season here at Lakeland. So I'm excited. And we got spring coming up for Call of Duty, Madden, and FIFA, and some other games as well.
How did you get involved in this?
It was basically word of mouth. It was a friend of mine that used to work here, and he was a student here a long time ago, and he brought it to me in November of last year. He said, Ahman, I got the special job for you. The best is your job. I'm like, what is it? I said, it has something to do with video games? He said, yep. I said, oh, yeah.
So you were a gamer? You were a gamer growing up?
Oh, yeah. So full disclosure, yeah, I've been, as long as obviously been playing football and traditional sports. I grew up playing football, baseball, basketball seasonally, and then track and baseball, you know, track came in once I got to high school. But when I wasn't doing those sports, if I wasn't doing homework, I was playing video games. My first system was ColecoVision, and so Donkey Kong and Zaxxon was my games of choice.
Yeah, Zaxxon.
And then, I was the first on the block with the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. I had Super Mario Brothers, and if you ever remember 10-Yard Fight.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I had that old football game there, and then the Tecmo Bowl, and then Sega Genesis, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, Xbox, the original, then the 360, and on and so forth. And boom, I'm here. But then connecting with people along the way, like Ray, like a guy named by the name of Hank Baskett, Larry Ridley, Greg Zion, Mark Watts from the NFL, was with the NFL Network, now is out on his own, you know, coaching broadcasters, and I shoutcast too. So last weekend, I was a part of the HV GamerCon 2020, and I shoutcasted Rocket League for them. And then on last Saturday, I shoutcasted a Madden tournament with my good old buddy, Larry Ridley.
Oh, awesome. So do you find that your NFL experience translates to esports? Do you think it's a one-to-one comparison?
Yes, it is one-to-one. It's all team-based. There's only a few games that are actually individual, similar to track, which is all the fighting games. And I say right now, Madden too, and FIFA players, they're individually playing their games. But everything else, Valorant, Call of Duty, League of Legends, Fortnite, Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege, all those games is 2 to 3 players, up to 6 players that are on the team. They got to communicate. They got to have good chemistry, and they got to know their role. They can't just go out and do their thing. If you're into video games, you know the funny gif, a meme of Leroy Jenkins just going out there and doing his own thing. You can't. So you can't do that. You gotta, be part of the squad. You gotta know your role and make sure you don't, you lose your life before we even get into engagement with the other team. So we can still have that numbers advantage, because once you get down a player, it's downhill from there, especially in the game of Valorant.
So you've mentioned a whole bunch of games there. Do you have a favorite? What's your favorite of the games that your teams are competing in?
Ooh, I'll say right now, the standing favorite, and I don't know how to play it, I will. I'm learning how by watching my players play, is Valorant. It's a very popular game. and it's mouse
Brand
and
new.
keyboard. Yeah, it's mouse and keyboard only. And then my second favorite is Madden, obviously, because I grew up playing that. I was in the game for years as a player, and now I get to coach it. And my players are right now overall 12-5.
Wow.
With the playoffs next week, so we have like 2 to 3 players going to the playoff of the 5 players, which I'm excited about. And so that's where things are. Yeah.
Dude,
I want to say to the chat too, if the chat has anything they want us to ask AG, please fire away if you would.
Absolutely.
What are some of the other schools that are big in esports?
It's let's start with Oregon, Texas Tech, Penn State. Us. The good thing, the beautiful thing about esports.
Sorry, I didn't mean to overreact.
Right, Penn State, Texas Tech, Florida, Miami. The beautiful thing, similar to FCF, similar to this, there is no matter. So we're Division III, so we can face Nebraska, my school, in esports. We could face the Miamis. We could face the Oregon Ducks in certain games. It doesn't matter what division we're in. It just matters that we signed up into that league and we get to face who we face. It's not like if we, like Lakeland University football D3 going to play, Madison down in, the Badgers down in Madison. That's a whole different, that's something that won't happen. And if it did, it wouldn't be good for Lakeland. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the recruiting process, who they're able to grab at Wisconsin because of the prestige being at Wisconsin, things of that nature. But that prestige here at the esports side of it is the same no matter what level of institution that you're at. Us at Lakeland, it's no difference than being at USC for esports.
So do you think? Let's pose this question. You're a longtime Madden guy. FCF is kind of like putting Madden into real life. Would you have loved if fans were calling your number back in the day when you were playing?
I'm a kind of guy that rolls with the punches, so it would have made me no difference. People were calling my number anyway. It was either Mike Sherman or Mike McCarthy. So
That's right.
For me, it didn't really make a difference. So yeah, it would have been fun. I think it would. I believe it would have been an experience. I know a lot of players, like quarterbacks, would be like, "No, man, we're not doing that. We can't do that. What are you doing?" If it ever was a play that was kind of off the cuff play call.
I know a lot of people don't know this about you, but I think this is like where we connect is, after football, all the things that you've done after football, which, you're starting to get known for now more than football, So, some people don't know that you're an actor and you've done some actual stuff in some theater. So tell us about that.
Oh, man. So that was another thing I wanted to do, between trying to be pro in esports or playing video games a lot, and then when Twitch happened, boom, that answered that wish, and so I have my own channel on Mind Green TV. But the other little thing I wanted to do was act. I mean, I'm a big movie fan. Right now, if you follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at AmonGreen30, all one word. If you follow me on social media right now, I'm posting every night my favorite horror films, and of course, I'm watching them. You can watch them. So I break them, I post them. I don't go into, I could go into my old ESPN routine of breaking down Friday the 13th or the Poltergeist or whatever to say, this is a good movie, don't watch it, whatever. I could do that. Yeah. But I love all movies. I love all the genres of movies, action, horror, comedy, the suspense thrillers, the psychological thrillers, the love stories every now and then, if I could take it. But
come on, you're a big Notebook guy. Don't deny it.
No, I still haven't watched that movie, and I will not. I'm sorry. I apologize for people who love that movie, but I can't do it. I can't do it. But that love, just like the love in football and sports, and also in video games, it was there. So I started, reaching out to people that I knew. The NFL actually had a program called the NFL Pro Hollywood Boot Camp. That's where it started, and I made some connections there. And then I start running around and making connections and finding similar names. And then Ray's name popped up, and then we connected. And he directed me down to his talent firm, Stewart Talent, down in Chicago, which they're all over the United States. They're in, I believe, Los Angeles, New York, and Atlanta area as well. So getting a little, some talent, I say some acting auditions, doing it, doing from the bottom up, not saying, I never asked for a give out, like, hey, who I am, I should get right to, the director's seat or right to the next to director. No, I wanted to go through the process to learn,
That's right.
learn everything and go through it. And trust me, I got rejected. But my only quirk about auditioning is, look, at least at these combines, we give feedback to players.
Thank you.
In acting auditions, you hear nothing from Hollywood. When you go in for an audition, if you gotta call them, obviously it's a problem. You know? That's the only thing I would say to any casting director, any movie person, give us feedback. And we know what to work on to get better, and not go into some mental denial or go into some mental stress pocket of, am I terrible? You know, am I this, that? And you wonder why actors have mental issues, you know? It's like,
I love four-time Pro Bowler, the most rushing yards in Green Bay Packers history, and he's like, did I nail my audition?
Exactly.
Hey, I can't tell you how many times I've been in the shower like, I can do this.
Like, man, I auditioned for a football player and I didn't get it. Oh, wait a minute. Am I missing something?
They're like, the casting sheet said, we need an Amon Green type.
And you're like, come on.
No lie. Straight up story. Check this out. Straight story. I auditioned for Ballers, right? And I auditioned for the same role as John David Washington. Wide receiver, and in the script, he actually spoke Spanish, and I know a little Spanish. So I was throwing the Spanish little remarks in my audition tape that I sent in. Do you think I got it? Thank you. This is my point here. And you see, and he's a wide receiver. The stats on the wide receiver was 6 foot, 215 pounds. Now, I know I haven't met John David in person. We actually played against each other in the UFL, but I know he's not 6 foot tall. And I know he's not 215 pounds.
You'll always be a baller in our hearts, Amon. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, Amon, between acting, obviously the esports, you're on Twitch on the regular. I know you have a podcast too, right?
Yes. I just started. Well, I won't say just started. We're in episode 34. And right now, iHeartMedia is making me the face of esports for iHeartMedia. And so it is the Amon Green's Gamers Lounge. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on the iHeartMedia app, and where you download your podcast on. That's one of my buddies that does the rundown. I got it in my head now. And we basically talk about what I know right now, what I'm doing, video games and esports. So it's basically a fun show. We talk about all the current topics from what's going on with now the Twitch is cracking down on streamers not playing recording artist music. So they're cracking down on that right now. So we talked about that on my show this week. And then we talk about all the new game releases that's coming out, like Doom Eternal has a big DLC download if you play that game. I'm a Doom guy. It's a lot of just shoot things and blow things up. And like y'all were watching Commando, that brought me back to today. That's how Doom is. You just blow stuff up. You might not know what they're saying. It doesn't make sense. But you know what? Let's chop off a head or two and we're good, you know?
I think you missed an opportunity there, Amon, to just call it Amon's Green Room. I mean, it's
right there. It's right there.
Gamer Lounge sounded better. Gamer Lounge. I have thought about that in some cases. What you got, Ray?
AG, just give them a little bit of taste of in a hotel, PlayStation on, right before the game, no more meetings, and you got like 4 hours. How is that atmosphere?
Man, it's just the time to unwind, because you know the next day you actually got to play real football. So it's like, all right, I'm going to play and have some fun with my teammates if they don't. What's interesting, Ray, I don't know if you ran across this. I ran across this with all my teammates. Is you would be surprised how many professional football players do not like to lose on Madden. And when they lose, they don't want to even touch the game no more. I'm like, what's wrong with you? But you don't mind getting hit in the chest by a linebacker, but when you get beat on this, you it's blasphemy. You don't want to touch it again. It's like radioactive. Like, what's wrong with you? Take a L.
They don't want to be out-coached.
Good point.
They don't want to be out-coached by you.
Good point. Shoot, one instance happened, though. Because you know, Ray, you know me. I'm not a trash talker. I'm a gamer. I'm going to play. I'm going to have fun. But one of my old teammates, good old buddy of mine, Donald Driver, right? So we're in the locker room. He comes up to me. He's like, AG, hey, why don't you come over to my house? We could play some Madden. You know, because he heard in the locker room that Robert Ferguson, we had just drafted him wide receiver at Texas A&M. He beat me, and he did. He beat me, you know, but it was a close game. And I said, yeah, we could get a game in. He said, why don't you bring the wife and the kids over, so I could beat you down. I'm like, oh.
In front of your family?
Let's go. I said, babe, let's go. We're going to Donald and Tina's house next week. We're going to have Madden. We're going to eat dinner. Boom, boom, boom. So I get to the house. Fast forward, we get there. I grabbed my controller, turned on the Xbox. I'm like, you ready? He's like, I'm ready. And he's trash talking me, blah, 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 blah. So I dubbed him 21-0 in the first quarter. So I'm just sitting there like, I didn't say nothing. You brought this on yourself. I'm like, just because Robert beat me don't mean you could come in here and beat me. Like, come on, man. So, like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
What is your go-to team when you play Madden?
Well, it's really, it's any team that's a playoff team. That's my go-to team. because the way, the game's set up, you have, the Chiefs, you have the Packers now, and the Titans, and the Seahawks, 49ers. If you don't play with any of those teams, it's hard to win games. Philadelphia, you got to have a defense, and you got to have a quarterback. It's good to have a scrambling quarterback, so like a Kyler Murray, a Lamar Jackson, and Russell Wilson to get outside that pocket, stretch the defensive backs out.
Yep. And you got to have a defense.
I just want to note Makuga that he said my team before he said your team.
That's true. I picked up on that too.
Hey, in the chat, Jay Bick asks, if you face Nebraska, what side are you on? Are you cheering for Lakeland or Nebraska?
We face Nebraska. I'm trailing for Lakeland. That's one of my players. He's over here. I have it on the big screen. He's sending messages through. But I would cheer for Lakeland. I
love this guy. I love it.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, go Muskies. Go Muskies all day.
Amazing.
With these new consoles coming out, like we got the new PlayStation, the new Xbox. Like, what's on your radar, man? You looking for Cyberpunk? You excited about Assassin's Creed? Like, what's next? Like, what most excites you about coming up next?
All of it. I would say I'll just start with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I was at E3. I was at E3 last year when Keanu Reeves was on the stage, and people lost their mind. I lost mine too, because he doesn't do a bad. He's kind of like I'm trying to think like Will Smith or Tom Cruise. He doesn't do a bad movie or doesn't do nothing bad. So anything he touches is gold. So when I saw him walk out on that stage, I'm like, oh. Game on. Yeah. So I was like, is the game out now? I was like, when is it out? Can I download it somewhere? Is it a cheat code? Give it to me. I want it. So I pre-ordered that, and I also have Valhalla Assassin's Creed. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I'm still working through the Odyssey right now. So I'm excited about that. Trying to think what other Watch Dogs Legion. I got all of them on pre-order. I got problems. I'm a gamer.
I want to tell you about E3. I went to this last E3. I went to the Cyberpunk Behind Closed Doors demo with FCF owner Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson had a little bit to smoke, and he was feeling pretty good. And as you know how that goes, it's a guided tour, right? There's a guy playing it in real time, and talking about what's going on screen, right? And he's like, so guys, I'm going to go up to this door, and I'm going to go in the door, and I'm going to take care of this guy. And Mike's talking to him like he's going to listen. Mike's like, don't go in that door. I told you not to go in that door. You went in that door. And he's yelling at him the entire time. It was pretty unbelievable.
Oh, man, I had this similar experience. A buddy of mine, actually a soldier of mine, a good friend by the name of Dustin Hoover. And it was about 3 years ago, E3. And it's when Resident Evil Biohazard came out. And it's the same setup. You're standing behind. You have a demo player playing for you. And that's when the whole virtual reality dropped. And so we're sitting there looking at the screen, and my man Dustin, just like Mike Tyson, he's over there, hey, don't go in that room. And you know what? We don't even have to take this job. It's two cops talking. He's like, look, you know what? Let's just give this to the next crew. We'll come back later. I'm like, Dustin, the game doesn't work like that now, okay? It's not where the AI hears us through the voice. No, we're not on that level yet. It's just part of the game. Just elect the A button, X button, and keep going. He's like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm like, oh, my Lord, this is hilarious. Me and the demo guy were just in tears crying. It was like, this is hilarious.
Missed E3 this year, man.
Yeah,
Have you jumped on this Fall Guys, like the bandwagon for Fall Guys? I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's
right. No, not yet. We have what we've been doing on team bonding days here. We play Among Us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I found out real quick.
Lie to each other.
They lied to me. They don't trust me. My teammates in that game, my players, They think I'm the enemy right away. Every
You're
time I said I wasn't, when I said I didn't did it, they just knew I figured I did, and they kicked me off the ship. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
You're acting
Just gonna
sus,
put me off in
man.
outer space somewhere? Like, come on, man.
How many hours do you do a day? Like,
Well, we did training camp. So I did what I brought. This is where you say I'm relating traditional to now esports. So I brought that to esports. So we did 2-a-days back in August, from August 11th to August 23rd. We had 2-a-day training camp days. So we basically would scrim and practice and work on fundamentals from about 9:30 to about 12:30. So 3 hours in the morning. We'd break for lunch. We actually went to the weight room, or we went to the football field or the stadium and ran stadium stairs and worked out together as a team. And then we got back. We took showers and then had a little meeting, broke some stuff down, and then went back and came back into the facility and game from about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Broke down some film. So we were walking out of here during training camp about 9:30, 10 o'clock every night.
you were breaking down film?
For 2 weeks and breaking down film and everything. So now with school open, it's practice every night from 5 to 8, and pretty much every night other than tonight. There's games going on. So other than tonight's just a straight practice night. So working on fundamentals for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. No different than what we did, Ray. You know, when you come to practice, you warm up, you get where your position coach. If you're a wide receiver, you work on wide receiver technique. If you are a lineman, you go on lineman technique, D line. You know, you just break off into your area. So that's what I have them doing. Break off into their games, get into their fundamental training. For the Valorant players, they go into the shoot gallery. Then they will start with talking about strategy and working with one another, and what the call outs are going to be for the game, what the definition of a call out is. No different than setting audibles at the line of scrimmage for the DBs and the safeties. You know, when you guys communicate in the defensive backfield, when y'all going to shift from a cover 2 to a man coverage. No different there. So that's where the relation is coming right over from traditional sports.
It's awesome. I got to feel like those kids, you know, because esports, it's young people, you know, and I got to imagine that there's got to be such a feeling of confidence and excitement to know that they have this elite athlete that is coaching them, that's bringing so much experience and you know, performing at a high level to their sports. It's got to be cool.
Yeah, it's cool. That lasted about 2 weeks, and now I'm just Coach Green. I'm just Coach Green, so I'm regulating on coming on practice on time, you know, and when you get here, make sure you get into your fundamental training, and then who's going to shoutcast the game, whoever's not playing, and making sure people let me know things, you know, when it's a schedule change in their school schedule, if they have a job, let me know the work hours so I know when you're going to be here and be with your team, and getting uniforms, getting T-shirts, so managing, you know, all these young adults here, which has been for me another dream come true.
Just a quick reminder, if you're joining us via the Twitch Sports channel, you can find us directly on twitch.tv/FCF for everything fan controlled football.
What makes a great esports player? Do you know what I mean?
Great question. I would say this. What makes a great esports player is they know how to take an L. That means they know how to lose. And then confidence. So, you know, in video game, like I mentioned with guys that I played with, like Donald or Robert Ferguson or other teammates along the way, when you lose, it is demoralizing in traditional sports. When you lose, I know, you know, I have good friends like Dorsey Levens, Leroy Butler, Gilbert Brown. They lost the Super Bowl before I got there in the 1998 season to the Broncos, right? I got there in 2000 from a trade from Seattle, and they were still trying to get past that as players, because it's a mental thing. Yeah. So, right, in video games, the stuff happens when I say the stuff, the losing can happen constantly. But if you focus on the losing, it will, you know, you'll be like, you know what, I'm not touching this Xbox, I'm not touching this computer, I'm not touching this PlayStation or Switch. But if you learn how to get over the losing quicker than usual, and then have confidence in your game, no matter what game it is, those are the good players. And then you got to be dedicated. You got to put that grind in. So when gamers say grind, that means grind. You got the hat on, you got the light on, you got the pickaxe, and you're going at it game after game or night after night, hour on top of hour. And that's where the stigma was with esports athletes being out of shape and just sitting in a stable, sentiment position and not moving. But now it's changed. Myself, other coaches, other organizations that run esports esports teams, they have their kids being active. They have a personal trainer. They have chiropractor because they know the seriousness. If you focused and you have everything around you to make you play at a high level, we're going to give you that so you could do that. And that's where I say the best players, like I said, they know how to get over a loss. They know how to get over mistakes real fast. And then they're confident and not cocky. That's the number one thing. Confident, but not cocky.
Man, I feel like that's not just...
Sorry,
go ahead.
Real quick, how does the recruiting process work for esports? Because I would imagine the esports is the fastest growing situation in college sports right now.
Yes, it is. And it's growing so fast to where we, as universities, some of us don't even have the program to have esports scholarships yet. So I'm in year 0, basically, and I established the esports scholarship fund with some of the enrollment team members, so the people that enroll students and admissions team. So we have collaborated to create our scholarship fund. And we're doing it with one company out of Kansas City called Midwest Esports. It's the Community Esports League. So if you go on to the Community Esports League, it's uea.gg, and you pick any of the games, there's monthly tournaments that they run, and you type in LUES20, that then donates $25. 20% of that comes back to us for our scholarship fund, because recruiting kids, and you don't say, oh, there's an esports scholarship waiting here for you, then they might just like, all right, I'm gonna go look somewhere else.
Right.
So just like a football player. Just like a football player, baseball player, you gotta say that, because I've had players ask me, Coach, do you have an esports scholarship? I'm like, look, I know we have scholarships, but not yet. We're gonna have it soon, and now I can say that we've been sponsored by a local restaurant called Larry Legends. It's a wing place, and we have money to hand out now for esports scholarships here at Lakeland University. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Is there anything wings can't do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love wings.
Play Madden. I'll say that's one thing they can't play Madden. Everything's just slippery with the controllers.
I love this idea of being able to take an L. I think that it's such good advice, not just for esports or competition in general, but for life.
Yeah,
right? Being able to take an L is probably the hardest thing a human being has to learn. But that it separates the people that can actually transcend it and not. It's
right.
Just
think about, like,
you gotta have a bad memory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Ray, he played defensive back in the NFL. Okay. He had to go against guys like Jerry Rice, Andre Rison, Andre Reed, and I don't know if you faced Megatron, but that was 6'5" and 230, And just imagine, you think you're gonna win you think in 10 plays, you think you're gonna win 7 plays? No, you're gonna lose. But
and have confidence to stand out there too.
Exactly. But on them 2 and 3 plays, that could be the pick 6 that your team needed, or that could be the deflection to stop them on 4th down. Yep. That's what you need to do, and that's how these games are. These shooters, these Madden, FIFA, Valorant, Call of Duty. You just got to have that mental to when that time comes. Yeah, you messed up in the first couple rounds, but the game's not over. Keep playing. Don't just give up. I play online for fun.
So you would have. I was going to say, I'm sorry. So just like there's cover 2, the cornerbacks got the flats and the safeties got the halves. Would you set up like that too? Say, the 3 of you are here and the other 4 are back here, or is it just free for all?
No, it depends on the game. Like Valorant, yes, we will do that in Valorant. We're talking about how we're going to, because you have 3 points. You have point A, you have point B, you have point C. And sometimes, and it's basically you got a bomb that you got to plant. So it's search and destroy. If you ever play Call of Duty, that's what you're doing. Yeah. You're doing the same thing in Valorant. And so, but you got to have a game plan, because if you're the planner, you got to make sure you could get to the point A or point B or point C with all 5 men. That's the ideal situation. But of course, that team is going to try to take you out before you plant that bomb. So if you don't have a game plan, it's like, all right, I'm going to send 2 people over here or 3 people over here, or we're going to all 5 push to C, and we're going to plant C together. But if you have 1 guy or 2 guys go, or 2 people go, you know what? Yeah, all 5 are supposed to be going there. We're going to go do this. And then we're down 3 to 5. It's like, that's game over. Game over, man. Game over, man.
Have you guys done any like big, obviously, I guess because of COVID you can't, but is there talk of doing like some big live events when, things kind of calm down with like your team to earn some money for Lakeland and stuff like that? You being the commentator, we got a guy in the chat, That Kid Flowers, that wants you to be a commentator on esports. He's a big fan.
Oh, appreciate it. No, so yeah, we did obviously, but with things that stand, but we are able to work with companies like Geo. So gyo.gg is a recruiting website for esports players and gamers around the country, around the world actually. So it's no different than Rivals. So we've partnered with them.
Wow.
Yeah, we've partnered with them to do virtual combine. So on November 6th and 7th, we have a virtual combine for Overwatch and League of Legends players that are in the high schools in and around the United States or even Canada or wherever. It's online. You fill out, you go to geo.com, find us on there, Lakeland University Esports, and pick the game you want to come to the combine for. So no different than what we had to do going to Indianapolis, Ray. You know, going out there running the 40s, what we were just talking about previously before I jumped on here, it's the same thing, but we're doing it now for Overwatch, for Madden, for Call of Duty, for League of Legends, for Super Smash Bros, for Brawlhalla, it's just for Fortnite and all Rocket League, for all these games now, there is this now the area of basically testing where you grade out to see where you stand now for esports.
That is so
You've made it really interesting. The virtual combine idea is incredible.
That's so smart,
What would you tell kids who are looking to potentially get into esport? What game do you think is going to have some staying power? Like League of Legends has been around for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like what do you think somebody who's looking to get into esports and be competitive at a really high level, what game should they invest their time into now? So as they practice, and to your point, grind, what game will they be able to be competitive in when they're ready in the right age?
I mean, there's a lot right now. I say the main number one, like you just mentioned, League of Legends is one. Another MOBA is Dota 2. And then as you go from different genres in the same area of shooters, Call of Duty, they have a professional league now, as everybody knows. They had a great first season. And so that is that's going to do nothing but get better. They have a Path to Pro division, which is basically college players teaming up to get to the pros for the CDL. Another league that's looking great and continue to grow is the NBA 2K League. Yeah. So they just had their third or fourth season now, and so players can get into that. So I would advise any player, for one, you played it just like athlete, just like traditional sports athlete. Play the game you love. Play the game you love and get really good at quicker than anything else. For one, let's start there first. No matter if it's Smash Bros, no matter what. But then this another mindset is also find the games that are trending, that are popular, that are everybody's making the bigger monies in, like League of Legends. You look at their prize pools. League of Legends overseas prize pools for the North American and Europe and Asian continents, you're looking at anywhere from 47 to 40, let's say $40 million to $50 million for a prize pool.
Yeah.
For Dota 2, same thing. Yeah. So you got to look at that and dissect it. I mean, when I was in college football, I say before I became a college football player, I sat down. My mom taught me how to make goals. So I remember my junior year of high school, she set me down. She said, babe, this is how you make goals. So what I did then, once I got to being recruited and all that stuff, I laid out all the colleges that were recruiting me, all the letters I got, Miami, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Syracuse, USC, UCLA. I put them on a notebook piece of paper, and I wrote down like the offenses they ran, the defense they ran, the major I wanted, what city it was in, what weather was year round, if the coach was an offensive minded coach, if the coach was I laid that stuff down. I would say, kids, do the same thing for yourself with esports. Put out a plan, and that plan can come to fruition. But say if that plan doesn't work in terms of you being a pro in League of Legends, in Madden, in 2K, in Call of Duty, there's shoutcasting, there's streaming, there's streaming to be an influencer. There's so much in the ecosystem of esports, similar to traditional sports, that you could be a commentator too, along with being an influencer, and then build your own brand where you have your own logo. You have your own company. That's why what's going on with Twitch and the breakdown, or the breakdown of the not the breakdown, but the stopping of the soliciting of music on each streamer's channel. That's why that's happening, because the Twitch streamers, if the people are listening in or watching in, they're hearing Kanye while you're playing Madden, or hearing Big Sean while you're playing Call of Duty, that brings them to your channel as well, just as much. So that is where this whole esports thing is an ecosystem that can help you grow in any area. You just got to pick one and then push for it. And like we say, grind for it.
Hey, Amon, your boy Jay Bick here says, my ultimate plan, bring LU a COD championship. So
That's one of our
Duty.
best. That's one of our pretty good COD players. I won't tell him that to his face, but he could probably hear me over
Well,
there.
I know your time is precious, and we appreciate you spending so much time with us. I want to get you on this question because Chicago Murphy has asked it a number of times now. Ray versus AG 1-on-1, who wins?
In what?
What?
Game.
In your prime. In your prime on the field.
Ooh, on the football field? Ooh. I don't know, Ray. I love eating DBs up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I ain't even gonna talk outside the side of my face. Look, that man he built like a brick wall, and I've hit him several times and failed.
Oh,
and,
man. It was all business. It was all business, never personal, all business.
I say this, AG, man, I can't be more proud of you, man. There's, guys, when we get out, a lot of us go hide and hide from the world and all that stuff. You've continually recreated yourself. And I think that is a tremendous accomplishment. I think it's one of the biggest as an athlete. How can you continually recreate yourself in certain places? And you've done it. You're in the next innovation of everything right now. So I got, man, mad respect for you, bro.
Oh man, appreciate that, and you helped along the way too. You gave me a little motivation here and there, and I just that little bit just gave me a mile, gave me a little extra little oomph to keep going.
Well, thank you so much for being here on Green. It's such a pleasure, and really, honestly, I like so many cool lessons. I just think it's awesome that you're coaching now because it sounds like you're giving a lot of great advice to a lot of young people. So thanks for being here and giving us some advice as well.
Hey, you're welcome, Jeff. Hey, welcome, guys. Good talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Thanks, Armand.
AG.
Wow, that was awesome. He's awesome. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's all right. We lost the commissioner too. Yeah, he's been a friend of the theory. He's back.
He's one of the best guys, man. Like he's
such an awesome dude, man.
Genuine what he's doing, and I'm so happy for him, man.
Guys, all of my coaches growing up were just like dads of friends. You imagine going in to a school and like your esports coach is Armand Green?
No, that's what I was trying to tell him. He's like, oh yeah, after 2 weeks, I'm just Coach Green. I'm like, I don't know if I would ever get over it.
He would be like, hey, Armand, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Can you come to my house? My parents really want to meet you.
Yeah. But that's the other thing I was thinking is like you go, Dad, Mom, I want to go to college to play esports. And they're like, I don't know. I'd be like, Dad, my coach is Armand Green. He's like, go ahead, son.